was born in Portland, Oregon, and went to Grant High School. Essentially, I mean, I appreciate y'all showing up, but the fact of the matter is this is just more bullet wounds being sutured up with Band-Aids. We've been dialoguing with the racist police and the racist governments for how long? I'm Chicano, which means I'm part indigenous, which means that we were here before 125 years, however old this church is. Yes. And let's be realistic here. Slaves were brought over to this land by Christopher Columbus, you know what I mean? And the place was, what was the boat called? Does anybody know?
What's your point?
It's called Jesus Christ. That's my point. We are here in a settler colonial spot right here, asking our oppressors to help us get our freedom.
I'm sorry, Mario. We're not asking them for anything.
And no one else is getting interrupted right here. Okay? Can I get my minutes?
We're not here to request anything. I'm just letting you know that, brother. We on the same page. So keep on going. But I'm just saying, don't.
Now, the fact of the matter is, we got 6 months. All right, so 6 months more of dialogue, and what's that going to do? We've been talking for how many months? How many years? How many decades? Christianity has part to do with the genocide that made this country. And we're in here in these walls that represent a white Jesus that oppresses humanity. All right? And this is my perspective. And if you got a problem with that, that's fine. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is we got the head of the PPA here, who's basically just kowtowing to a racist institution. He just wants his slice. Charlie Hales is essentially, y'all know the definition of fascism, right? Corporation and melding of the state. Charlie Hales worked for the city, pioneered this streetcar, then leaves the city, and where does he go work? For the same streetcar that makes money off of the city. It's so apparent that we live in a
appreciate you getting to the question. But I do want
I get cut off when people want to make a statement, they can make a statement, but I'm getting cut off when I'm talking about some real things. Can you step back? I didn't get my chance.
But could you get to your question? Because then I want to answer and address some of the things that you said, sir. So go ahead and ask your question. In the meantime, get the bulletin cover from last week with the black Jesus on it.
Okay. If you're offended by that.
No, I'll answer your question. Go ahead. I'm encouraging you to speak, but draw it to a conclusion.
What is the point of this stuff here if we've been dialoguing? And what's the point of respectability politics if the most respectable brother ever was murdered by the same government that gave him a day? What's the point of respectability politics? What's the point of kowtowing to the oppressors? What's the point? Seriously, honestly.
Let her answer. That's your question. Thank you.
The point of discussion is to somehow formulate a resolution or somehow solve the question that will address the problem. Most of all, it's coming to agreement and mediation. Now I want to address what I want to talk about, what you said. In this place, and in this particular faith community, we represent a Jesus of many colors. He may not be white, may not be black, may not be red or brown, but it's to who we look at as a sure enough liberator. Now, I don't know where you come from or what you do, but you can't assume what other people think and believe. Because if that's what you're doing, you can't think for me or anyone else in this room. That definitely isn't solution-oriented. So you need to work with the process of do not choose Portland. Come up with some community action points that you can address and quit being all over the map, my brother. Because that was Columbus's problem. All over the map. The clearing space, that wasn't it.
You still didn't address the whole idea of respectability politics first of all. And second of all,
I think that was very clear. Come to the table, come with concrete ideas, and come with not hypothetical questions, but questions that will be translated into policy and action items.
Okay, here's a policy, all right, you know what? Policy and action,
Mario, you're doing the same
it's a
thing, you
joke.
dominating and you using power. Other people want to use their voices. Let's go ahead and let the brother behind us. I'm saying you dominating the conversation, bro. What's your name?
My name is Edward Gershbach. I'm a student at PSU, but I served on a grand jury here in Portland, Oregon about 2 years ago at Multnomah County Courthouse, and I was surprised. Well, I think this relates to a previous statement that was made or a question about police accountability and people being able to have community involvement in reprimanding police. Well, I think a grand jury is that. But unfortunately, the way the grand juries work is there is a lot of coercion. They are ran by, I had that experience. I mean, we had, the prosecutors are the ones who facilitate the process. I don't think a prosecutor is unbiased, you see. And so having prosecutors facilitating the process of grand juries, I had cases on my grand jury where the verdict was decided by us, and then that was a Friday. On a Monday, they came back in and said, we need a different verdict. We already decided that. I have this personal experience on these grand juries where the police are supposed to be held accountable. What are you guys doing to participate in reforming grand juries to be something that is the most democratic point in our government?
You know, of course, that the city doesn't run the grand jury system, but we interface with it through the police bureau. The one thing that we have done as a city that I think is helpful is insisting on public transcripts of grand jury proceedings that have anything to do with officer-involved shootings. That's one way that we can at least open a window into that process for citizens. But if it's going to be changed, if the grand jury system in the state is going to be changed, it's going to be changed by the state legislature.
Right. And how involved are you at a state level?
Not on that issue yet, but your ideas about what ought to change and how it ought to change are welcome.
Right. Public record of those would be great.
And I was going to say that one of the things that Don't Shoot Portland is we've been continuously teaching civic engagement, and we're going to have a 4-hour course on the 31st of this month, basically teaching us the different structures of government, how to push legislation, how to sign a bill into law, and even how to lobby. And so we've spent a lot of times working with a couple of Democrats. We'll be also working with Green Party, Independents, and the Republicans, because we want to get all sides of the story, and we want that education to be available to you so that you'll understand how to use and move legislative action. And Aaron, after you're done, we're going to go ahead and have a break. And so